Now I'd like to introduce our student speaker, Sanjana Marpadga. Sanjana is a biology major from Southern California, but she was actually born here at Duke, which makes her a true blue devil for quite a while. For many of our students, global health starts at home. Diabetes affects many of our families and many of our communities, and it affected someone who's very important to Sanjana, and it jump-started her interest in global health. She got her first real taste of global health just a couple of years ago when she did a research project in Tanzania over the summer with the Tanzania Diabetes Association. She interviewed caretakers of diabetic children to learn more about their knowledge of diabetes and diabetes care. She calls this one of the most important experiences in her Duke career. When she got back to Duke, she worked tirelessly to bridge her global health work in the field with her campus experiences, and this resulted in her being involved in organizing multiple campus-wide World Diabetes Days. In an interview with the Duke Chronicle, that's our student newspaper, she said, "Diabetes doesn't discriminate. Everyone is connected to the issue in some way." And I actually think that quote captures much of what global health is about. So we're honored to have her speak here today representing the class of 2013. Sanjana?
How's everyone doing today? That was kind of sad. Come on, we're graduating, guys. How's everyone doing today? Okay, awesome. So I want to start off with a quote that I think at least some of you in here are familiar with or will recognize. Be inwardly calm and outwardly fierce. These words were shared by a dear friend of mine, who many of you might know, Praveen, when he came to a Global Health Week alumni event just a few weeks ago. This resonated pretty strongly, not only with me, but several people in the room that I spoke with that day, because I think it's a goal we all strive to achieve. But if anyone had said those words to me 4 years ago, I don't think I would have known how to interpret it. What does it even mean to be inwardly calm and outwardly fierce? While speaking right now, I don't think I'd really use the words inwardly calm to describe myself. I'm glad you all laughed at that. But I think it goes more, I think it goes deeper than just the butterflies in my stomach. It's about confidence. It's about accepting failure and being open to vulnerability in order to build vigor and passion for the things you love. It's something we're constantly working on, and I've been very lucky that my experiences in global health at Duke, both inside and outside the classroom, have taught me how important that truly is. I distinctly remember one woman that I interviewed in Tanzania during my fieldwork research, and she was the first to truly challenge my preconceptions. She sat across from me, her hands trembling and her cheeks tear-streaked. And I couldn't believe, it was so hard to believe that just 5 minutes earlier, this same woman had greeted me with the phrase, "Karibu sana," meaning "you're very welcome here," accompanied by the warm Tanzanian smile that I had come to appreciate. We began with a very basic question. When had her child been diagnosed with diabetes? And her story revealed a narrative that shook me to the core. Her child had been rushed to one of Dar es Salaam's regional clinics after he had taken ill, but none of the doctors could identify the cause. Within hours, his blood glucose reached severely high levels, leading to a coma, also known as diabetes ketoacidosis. His twin brother, vowed to commit suicide, and his sister was mentally shattered. It wasn't until 13 days later, against his odds, that he was able to regain consciousness and was transferred to the National Hospital in order to be properly diagnosed. Not long after the diagnosis, the woman's husband abandoned the family because he feared the financial burdens of chronic illness, leaving the mother to care and provide for her children alone. My understanding of survival, of struggle, and the value of human life were challenged, similar to so many of us who have faced suffering during our fieldwork experiences. But what helped me sort through the sentiment of being overwhelmed was the ability to empathize, to draw a personal connection not only to the issues, but to the people. Hearing these patient stories and spending days with their families taught me to see health as an issue of social justice. And I know through conversations that this was the case for many of you as well. It's when we begin to realize that our perceptions have changed, see that every aspect of life is intertwined in health, and understand that our lives are connected to the lives of the people we work with, that we find the strength and drive to continue learning about and fighting against these issues. That doesn't mean that we have all the answers or that we won't question ourselves in the future, but it gives us something to raise our voices for and question our professors about. And I think that's pretty special because it gives us something to keep grounded in. We've all made personal connections to the field of global health because of its dynamic nature, and that's what I love about it. Global health can be viewed through a variety of lenses, from women's rights to economic justice. And we're all drawn to something different, partly because of how we've been influenced by the people around us. And that is so incredibly powerful. This woman has remained with me since that summer, not only because she taught me and pushed me to view health on a systemic level, but because she was the inwardly calm and outwardly fierce persona that I find so inspiring. Despite the chaos in her life, she was able to maintain the happiness and health of herself and her children. She was able to walk into the clinic and relay to me, a complete stranger, the event which tore apart her family. I could see how difficult it was for her to talk about, but she saw this interview as a way of giving back to the Tanzanian Diabetes Association, my host organization and her son's savior. And I won't ever forget the strength it took her to do that. As we all move forward in our lives, it's important that we think about what keeps us grounded or who keeps us grounded, whether that's a family member, a professor, or someone we met during our fieldwork experiences, because it reminds us why we're striving for justice. Our relationships reflect on our own values, and they teach us, or they help us envision the impact we hope to make through whatever career we decide to pursue. As a freshman hearing the quote, I wouldn't have known how to relate to being an inwardly calm and outwardly fierce persona. But as a graduating senior, I can continue to challenge myself on how I want to embody that persona. My interpretation of this quote is, of course, shaped by my own experiences. But regardless of what that might mean to you, the quote is reminiscent of our spark, that fire when we work with global health issues that are so important to us. And as we leave Duke, I want to challenge each and every one of us, not only to understand how and why we act, but to think about how and develop how we portray that fire. Because it's not only crucial in helping us achieve our own goals, but it'll help us become the people that can ground others. Thank you.
Maybe not inwardly calm, but outwardly fierce indeed. Very nice job, Sanjana.